There we go. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Data here with what would we call it, Pat? Has it been 2 years in the making or so? The rivalry is back between myself and Old Man Sports on MLB The Show 23, something that we haven't done all the way back since MLB The Show 21, I believe. But I believe that was Pat taking the game rather comfortably. I held my own, but here we are tonight with a little fun live stream for a midweek time. We have our Pittsburgh Pirates franchise mode this time tomorrow night on Friday evening. But for right now, we're just going to be playing a few exhibition games, a few Q&As as we go, as well as we are approaching 6,000 subscribers here on the channel. So we'll have a little bit of fun with it. Pat, longtime supporter and contributor here on the channel, so I appreciate you joining me this evening, my friend. I look forward to lots of baseball and obscure Star Trek references ahead. The best type. Take me out to the Hollow Suite. You know what they say. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, thank you. You're always such a gracious host. If you're part of the Discord server or even part of our fantasy football server, Pat does a great little. We had a great little podcast going over the course of our franchise fantasy football season. Pat always a very entertaining host, so I think there we'll have many laughs ahead. I don't believe I'm able to actually. I tried to. Yeah. I believe because you're the host, you're the home, so I will gladly, no problem. I will concede and take secede. Is that it? Concede, and I will take away, not seceding from the country. I will just concede. Let's see. Let's see. Nay, welcome to the stream, buddy. We have a few of us in here at the moment, as we'll just allow people to start slowly trickling in over the next hour, 90 minutes or so, just playing a few games and having some fun with it. Are you, do you have a team in mind, Pat? Yes, okay, okay. I think I will start with the Pirates actually, in honor of our current series, and from there, I think once we have some more people in the stream, I think I will let the chat choose my next team. Legends in here. Addy says my two favorite content creators in the same video. Yeah, it's the Avengers, buddy. Get your tickets. Nay suggests the Rays. I will keep that in mind, Ray. Nay. This is YouTube right now. This is YouTube. Yes, absolutely. I don't think there's not too unless you're watching. Plus, with the delay, you wouldn't be able to see any pitches coming. They it would happen too quickly. Perfect, perfect, great. I know the last time we played it was on Twitch, but just aside from the fact that there's 6,000 almost 6,000 subscribers here and 300 followers there, just aside from that fact, there's also the fact that I like being able to have this in the archives. After about a month, I think it is, or even 2 weeks, it disappears from Twitch. So I like that we'll be able to have this to hold close to our hearts over the next years of our lives whenever we want to go back and remember the good old days. Oh, well, there you go. I will pause you here a moment, Pat. Legend, are you saying that's because Pat's a bit too low, or you're not hearing him at all? Because there is a little check mark I have to check to say share party audio when I'm streaming, and I thought I had done that, But if I hadn't, then I'll stop the stream and restart it right away. So if anyone just wants to let me, is Pat just low or you can't hear him at all? Not hearing Pat. Okay, so then just give me a quick moment. I'm just gonna stay on here right now. Give it a little refresh in about 10 seconds, and we'll be right back because obviously we want to be able to hear Pat. I'm sorry that he wasn't able to be heard before then. Let's just give it a quick pause here, and we'll be right back. Unless I could even do it right here without having to close it. Audio sharing settings. No, share party audio is turned on. Perhaps it's on, before I stop the stream, Pat, it could be on your end if you're not allowing your audio to be shared. Because I do have that box checked. Jack, welcome on board. Hey, Data, been a rough time the last couple of weeks. I'm glad to catch my first video in a while. Jack, buddy, very happy to have you on board. We'll do our best to give you a few laughs here and there. Hope that your week turns up, especially now. We got Easter weekend, long weekend, I'm hoping. I'm sure that this is going to be the beginning of a beautiful few days for you, buddy. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening. As Pat was saying, as he's looking into that, he was saying that he's going to be choosing the Twins this evening because of when we had our vote for which team we would take over for our live stream franchise mode. The votes ended up being tied between the Pirates and the Twins on the Discord server. So then I added in the votes from the YouTube post that I'd put out, and that gave the slight edge to the Pirates. But the Twins were right there as runner-up. So Pat will be the Twins at home, and I will be the Pirates away.
And can everybody out there now hear me? I think I checked the correct box on the PlayStation.
Okay, perfect. If anyone can let me know in the chat if Pat is heard now, as it should be good on my end. Oh, perfect. You have been heard, Pat.
Oh, wonderful. Wow, I'm living the gimmick, the old man that does not know how to use
I'm glad we
devices.
figured that out sooner rather than later.
Yes, definitely. Big shout out to Addy out there for letting us know that you couldn't hear me. Because
yes, thank you, Addy, thank you, Joe, thank you.
Half the point of this is it's supposed to be kind of interview style. I guess I'll have to repeat what I was saying earlier that well, we were hoping to do it, I guess, about once a year. It's been about 2 years now, we realized, but it gets a chance since you don't really do a Q&A for the channel. You are a bit of an open book on the Discord, but a chance to let people that maybe just watch the videos a chance to get to know a little bit more about Data. You guys have questions for our man outside of, personal stuff. We're not giving his social insurance number or his occupation out here, how many family members he has. But stuff about the channel, maybe personal interests, let her rip. We're all here to have some fun tonight, play some baseball, and have some fun chats. And if we don't get into that, we have a backup topic. We will do a mini fantasy draft of what we think are the worst contracts in the NHL currently.
Perfect. Looking forward to it. Walter also commenting, what are we doing not watching the Frozen 4, buddy? I wish. I don't think there's anyone who's playing it in Canada, much less in Quebec. No ESPN feeds or anything like that. But I'm looking forward to seeing the results. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see, uniform here. Yes, Legend. We're almost there. Almost at 6K. We're almost there. I'm going to go Road 1966 maybe? Ooh, I like the 1978.
Oh, yeah. Those flat caps. Please and thank you.
Beautiful. We
well,
have
Data.
Sorry,
before I select my pitcher, any inspirations in doing NHL franchise modes?
Inspiration? Oh, in my own personal inspirations when I choose a team?
No, I mean in even getting started. Any YouTubers or content creators, whatever verbiage people like, anybody that you watch yourself or did in the past that inspired you?
Oh, well, if we're talking about past inspirations, I think we all have to give our respect and bow before the Godfather himself, 2BC. Got to give our respect to the OG himself. A lot of my inspiration came from him in terms of I think realism came from him, and maybe my style maybe comes from maybe X-Tech a little bit. But definitely 2BC and X-Tech were my two main guys. I would always watch them on my break between classes in, I'm talking 2014, 15, 16, around there. When X-Tech stopped and 2BC kind of fell off the face of the world, I kind of stopped myself a little bit. There are others who definitely know what they're doing. Guys like Guys like Tactics are very popular. Not my type of, not my same style, but very popular in his way that he does it. I know Tugi's popular for his own style as well. So there's other people out there. I know at one point, Three Thumbs Up, he's stopped a little bit. I haven't seen him in a little while. But, so yeah, in terms of inspiration, I think 2BC was definitely the biggest. And more recently, it would be X-Tech. But when he kind of stopped his last series, I think he did Saskatchewan, he did the Japan series. He had, the most recent one, I'm blanking. It's the Washington Capitals logo, but it was a different team. He did about 20 episodes of that one, and that was about it.
Fair. So part of the reason I asked, I knew Johnny Superman would be one of the inspirations. Like you said, the godfather of NHL franchise modes. So that's why I have Sonny Gray on the mound, if anyone remembers his foray into
Yes.
MLB The Show in the past.
Oh,
and his
man.
outro for like 3
Do we
years.
ever? That Sonny Gray meltdown.
Also, well, we'll see when he comes up to the plate. But I love Byron Buxton's player model in this game because he looks like Avery Brooks. For those Star Trek fans out there,
Yes.
Captain Sisko on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh, I'll have to
You
pause
won't be
you
able
there
to
for a
unsee
second,
it
Pat.
now.
My apologies. Not Joe Duncan with the $2.20 donation. Two twos never lose. That's what I always say. Appreciate that donation, buddy. He says, hope you stream some NHL. That's coming soon with the NHL 23 Sharks franchise wrapping up very soon. We will be streaming some Sharks franchise. I would probably say maybe a couple of weeks from now. So thank you for that, not Joe Duncan. And if you are on the Discord server, let me know. There's a special role for you for that donation. And Walter asks, am I watching Johnny's Nashville series? Not religiously. I haven't been keeping up with it. But if there's any series that I have been watching at all, yes, it's been that one. So here we go. Sonny Gray on the mound against O'Neill Cruz. 6'7" O'Neill Cruz against big Sonny Gray. Let's see what Pat's going to throw my way here tonight. And just disclaimer, he is way better than me, but I will do my best.
Well, one thing that I actually love about MLB The Show is, like, I assume your hitting interface is still directional
Yes.
data?
Yes, it is.
I use a completely different method to hit. Speaking of success,
All right, there
that's
we
a
go.
base hit.
There we go. We'll get O'Neill on base. I did some practice. I was doing the challenge of the week where it's Jazz versus Shohei. I did a few dozen reps of that.
Very nice. So I'm doing the slide step in case you decide to steal. That's why my delivery is a lot quicker now.
Ah, yes.
So on the topic of the early days, Data, I understand. Oh, speak of the devil. You're a little tricky boy, aren't you? Trying to steal there. But in the early days of the channel, it wasn't necessarily franchise mode uploads. If memory serves, you did a lot of Club Penguin stuff. Tell us about what the channel originally was.
Yeah, the channel started... Sorry, go ahead.
You have videos going back like 10 years plus, if memory serves, right?
Yes, I believe the channel was created October of 2008, I believe. Oh, sorry, and Walter suggests, if I can just pause here, Walter suggests turning down the game audio. I had turned it down, but I didn't know how much would be good, so I'll just fix that a little bit more. Jay Birdie's in here. Long time no see, buddy. Great to have you. And Joe asks, Data, what is your earliest sporting event memory? I believe it would be going to the Expo's last game. Can I not go to gameplay here? I was at the Expo's last game. That's probably my earliest memory. Can I not change the sound over here?
Huh. If not, we can back out. You can adjust the sound, and then we'll just start a new one. I mean, I'll even bean O'Neill Cruz for you.
Gameplay, hitting, batting tips. It's always difficulty. General, control, camera, display, general, offense, defense, player lock. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and back out if you don't mind, buddy. I'm sorry about that.
No worries at all.
Confirm friendly quit. We'll go ahead and do that. I'll have Pat review my offer. But Walter, thanks for bringing that up. So my first sporting memory would be going to that Expo's final game at the Big O. My first sporting memory of hockey would be the first game that I went to. It was... No, Walter, don't worry about it. It's going to be better in the long run. My first hockey memory would be going to see the Canadians versus the Rangers on Halloween of 2008, I believe, was the first game that I went. Koivu was out and Kovalev was captain that night. I remember that. Settings, audio, video. So let's turn commentary off. Commentary's going to go full. I had it down very low, but let's go fully off.
Your attention, please.
PA volume can go down. Sound effects volume can go down. Anything else that should be off, Pat?
Yeah, no, it looks good to me. Now I am stream sniping.
Let's go, right
that all
here.
looks
Okay,
fine.
here we
I
go.
maybe
Let's go
even
now.
go
Hey, get
like as low as
excited right
25% on the
Let's go,
player
right
yell
here.
stuff, because
Right,
we don't
here
want
go.
every so
Okay,
often
here we go. Let's
first
go now.
base coach to yell out good hustle.
Gotcha. I'll turn the crowd down too a little bit.
Super. I'm turning it down on my end too, just in case the fact I'm inviting you is causing some of the issues.
No problem. Okay, we're good to go. And so round 1 was getting Pat's noise audio. Round 2 was getting the game audio down. Now here, round 3, it's the final product. It's been purified and refined, and now we're ready to get into the game itself. Pat will just send an invite back, then we'll get going again. So back to your question though, Pat. So yes, the channel did begin back in 2008 with Club Penguin content, with the name Data782 being my name on Club Penguin. And I made the account on YouTube because I was part of something called Club Penguin TV. Club Penguin TV was a channel that had, I think, about 10,000 subscribers, which was huge at the time. Still big, but very huge at the time. 10,000 subscribers. There was a WordPress blog with a couple million hits on it. And I was one of the members of that. So I wanted to also do my own independent thing as well. So I was a part of that bigger channel, but I also wanted my own channel. So I went ahead and made that back in 2008. But I only had Hypercam. I didn't have, and like Windows Movie Maker. I didn't have anything special. So just some Club Penguin videos on top of the things that I was already doing with Club Penguin TV. After that, it kind of turned into me doing hockey highlights, and that's probably what derailed my channel from getting monetized in the YouTube partnership program. I had so many videos that were like with not copyright stricken, no strikes, but copyright not viewable in certain countries and things like that. So I had so many of them that I just didn't care about when I was not making videos for anything. I would just screen record off of TSN highlights and upload them myself whenever I thought something cool happened. I think I distinctly remember recording the entirety of the 2009 NHL awards and uploading it in like 15-minute increments. So
You dirty dog.
yeah, so that was what the channel used to be. Those are all still on my channel, I think, actually, but they're all privatized, so I don't get copyright strikes. But they're all there somewhere. Some of them have a lot of views. Some have a few thousand views. So that's what the channel was. After that, it didn't really. Nothing happened until Club Penguin was going to shut down. I went back to making videos. I was studying school in the States, actually. It was 1 year that I did abroad, and that was kind of like a good like hobby for me, because being downtown in a city of a country that I didn't quite know, I wasn't necessarily going out all the time, really. So I had a lot of time in my dorm room after I was done studying. So I said, well, let's go ahead and do this. So I ended up having a series, Let's Play Club Penguin, 30 days till it's done, 20 days till it's done, a week till it's done. I remember I did a big 6-hour live stream on the night that it shut down. Is this an intentional walk here, by the way? Do I swing?
Oh no, intentional walk coming up.
Appreciate it.
Well,
So after that, I didn't do any videos after that. It was in Chicago, Walter. So I did that, and then when I came, and Reynolds is out, so I'll go ahead. You can just pitch 3 times to Reynolds. I won't swing.
Oh
with
no
these.
no no no. This is
Sure?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. We'll call it the slight handicap. I'm using the better team, and I have plenty of experience. Pass to Ivan Correa.
There we go. After that, came back. I didn't get any NHLs for a while. Last NHL I had played was NHL 16. I didn't get 17. I didn't get 18. But then it came. Then it came out, whatever, $10 in the summer. I decided to buy it, and I loved franchise mode. I didn't think there were a lot of good franchise modes. I said, like, the good ones aren't even that popular anymore. Like, no one's really doing the things that I like. Too much cheese. So I said, you know what, I could do this. I've watched so much, I'm going to go ahead and do some. So I did NHL 18, basically just for my friends at work. The only people who watched were really just my few buddies. Each video got just a dozen views. I remember I had one that got 70 or 80 views, and I was like, why is this video blowing up so much? Come on. Alright, got some contact in this inning.
No, I mean, between the 2 half innings, some fine play, my man.
Alright, thank you.
I'm always, I realized, both times we played, I'm saying always. Oh, there's the Avery Brooks doppelganger himself.
Here he is.
Captain Cisco to the dish. So I guess we'll address that elephant in the room since it's topical. What got you into Star Trek? Since obviously the namesake of the channel, Data, being Lieutenant Commander Data from the TNG series. And I'm sure a lot of us that joined were largely because, hey, here's a guy who likes the thing I like and is making videos about another thing I like.
There you go.
Sort of shot in the door.
Well, Star Trek was always a big thing in my household. It was, maybe not, I wouldn't say like my family was Trekkies or anything, but my father was a big Star Trek fan, same with my mother. So whenever we would decide on channels to get, oh, come on, Brian, come on the TV, one of them was the Space Channel, and on the Space Channel there was the original Star Trek series. So from a young age I started watching a bit of from the original series, and then TNG a bit as well. I was probably a bit too young to really, especially understand the nuances and the social aspects of it, and the larger social commentaries going on. That the reasons why I love Trek so much now is more just watching it because I thought it was a fun adventure. And the character that I just seemed to love the most was Data. I love Data a lot. I don't know if it was something deep inside of me. I've spoken about this with friends. They think maybe it's something to do with the innocence of humanity, and there's some deep psychological reasons of why. Maybe there could be a little bit of that. But I always loved Data. I always found him to be so interesting. And whenever I started making usernames on whether it be Club Penguin, I know on RuneScape, on like any game like that, I started to use Data as my title. Data 462, Data 782. I had a few different Datas going on, and then as I got older, I would rewatch it a bit, but I didn't quite see it from start to finish until the pandemic started. When the pandemic started, I watched Star Trek Next Generation with my siblings from start to finish, and that was a real great adventure. I was starting to actually remember things that I hadn't seen for a long time and have a new appreciation for it. And from there, I knew about Deep Space Nine, I knew about Voyager, but I never really knew more than just the characters. So I watched through all of Deep Space Nine, absolutely loved it, and now I'm in Season 4 of Voyager. After this, I'll do Enterprise. Right now I'm in Season 3 of Star Trek Picard. I haven't watched any of Discovery. I'm not a big fan of it from what I've seen. I'm a big Trek guy now. I feel like I'm a good authority on Trek.
Oh, well, I can validate that because as someone who's been a fan of the franchise for like 30 years, yeah, you more than carry your weight.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of things from childhood and potentially influenced by family, it's well documented. You're a notorious Montreal Canadiens fan.
Yes.
When did that start? Was that inherited? Is it due to proximity, you being based out of Quebec? Or just good coincidence?
I probably inherited plus from where I'm from as well. I think you probably have a good 90% chance of being a fan of wherever you're born and raised as a child. So add in the fact that they were such a successful team, maybe not when I was growing up in the early 2000s, but they were such a successful team historically. And then, of course, my father, big Canadiens fan as well, so that was influenced and passed down to me as well. My brother, however, a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, so it wasn't quite the same for his case. Although he was originally a Canadiens fan, but he jumped over. He fell in love with Lemieux and Crosby, and now he's a Penguins fan.
Don't answer if this one's reaching. About what age range is your brother? I'm just trying to suss out if he's like my age, which about mid to late 30s.
No,
because-
we're not. He's just a few years older than me.
Oh,
There's a-
okay. Just the Lemieux thing, I remember, like, when I started watching, I was a little too late for Gretzky, but oh my god, Mario Lemieux is just the craziest player I've seen.
Mhm.
It'd be like Tage Thompson highlights on McDavid's, like, eyes. It's great. He was a psychopath. Mario Lemieux's as good as everyone says he is.
Exactly. I'd say my brother was probably big on Lemieux when he came back after his hiatus.
Oh, fair.
I'd say around that range of time. Oh no!
Nicely done, Miranda, the young player for the Twins.
So yeah, Lore. He's a few years older than me, Lore.
If memory serves, Dado, your first NHL franchise mode series was the Canadians, right?
Correct.
I want to say NHL 18 or 19.
18. Yep.
I did the deep creep after I first found your channel. Like, hey, I gotta watch more. I already got through the Buffalo series.
Well, I know you created that team of old and friends and enemies of the Data 782 channel.
I need to find an excuse to do that again. Because I actually have the new game. I just... Credit for you for making something so entertaining out of a game that I personally can't tolerate anymore. I mean, the bones are there. As a hockey fan, I want the NHL series to be good. It does not cease to disappoint me these last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, the custom leagues, that could be some fun. Any thought actually doing something wacky for the summer series? Since the Sharks will be wrapping up pretty soon. Speaking of, don't click off this, but if you haven't seen the new Sharks offseason, it's excellent. I only made it about halfway through before we started here, but got through the draft. No spoilers, but there's some good stuff.
Well, I'll ask you did you enjoy did you approve of the return on investment?
Yes.
Very
The
good.
player you're specifically referring to.
Very good.
Oh, that's a shot to the gap, but 36 speed, I'm holding up at second.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have made it. Yeah. Sorry, you had two questions in there. One of them was my thoughts on a wacky series, and the other one was something else.
Oh, well, as any thoughts to doing something with, like, custom leagues, or are you going to stick with the 32 teams, as is tradition, and which you specialize in? I mean, why mess with success? But any thoughts to dipping your toe in the water there?
I would say the plan always was that would kind of be like a live stream type series. Usually the traditional full 30-plus episode, 10-plus year series is usually dedicated to some sort of real-life issue, usually a successful team that's been struggling as of late. I would assume next series, if I put it to a vote, I assume the more popular suggestions would be the Penguins, the Panthers, the Islanders, fringe teams like that who have had a lot of success but aren't quite performing as they should. So the door's not closed to custom leagues. As you were saying, you're really fed up with the game. I would say I'm pretty fed up with it as well in many ways. I try to make it fun as much as possible, and that would be one way to kind of spice it up. Personally, I probably would not be buying these games. I'm not affiliated or sponsored in any way just yet, so I'm not afraid to say that. I don't think I would be buying these games if I wasn't making the content for everybody. So that being said, I'm not usually... just trying to make sure I get this one. I'm losing my train of thought.
Oh, range.
Thank you, McCutcheon. Very good. So, sorry, to bring it all back, we will have the custom players in the next one, but for the summer series, I don't anticipate going wackier than that, unless it's what the people want. If one of the more popular suggestions when it comes to the poll is we want a custom league, we want a this, we want a that, well then absolutely, it will be taken into consideration, and it will be a possibility. But I do think that what the people want to see the majority of the time is what I just kind of laid out. Teams like fringe teams, teams that have interesting storylines, things like that. But always open to it. I think the last one we did would have been the Brooklyn Bellows in NHL 19.
So I'm going to call out what I think is the elephant in the room. You mentioned like 3 teams you think would be at the lead of the voting.
Right.
No Vancouver.
I think Vancouver
I'm just
would
going to
probably
have
be in
to
there as
ask
well.
you here, is the fact that Quinn Hughes is such a prominent part of the San Jose series and the fact Demko has 2 rings in past series. Is that going to stand in the way that so much of the Vancouver core would be repeats? Even though, God, they're such a horrid team. I hate
No,
loving them.
I don't think it would stand in the way. What has stood in the way, I think, before I
Hold
used to
up,
put it
gotta
to
let my dog out.
Oh, no problem. I'll keep going on. Are you able to still hear me as I speak?
100%.
Okay.
The dog's close. He's
I think
already
what's held me back from doing the Canucks in the past, when it was my choice to choose, was that I don't know. I don't think there is quite as much now that the Canucks are worse, but I think the EA bias was quite prevalent in the past with EA Studios. I don't know if it still is or was or what, but they were based in Vancouver at one time. Demko, before he even played a game, had such high potential. Hughes, before he played a game, had such high potential and always was such a monster. Yes, now we see how good he is, 70-plus point seasons, but he was doing that long before in EA land, long before I found he merited that. So just to say, I never really gave Vancouver too much consideration because I found it was a bit wonky. Now that they're in the situation that they are, no, I wouldn't say that they're out of contention because of Demko and Hughes. I still think the main pieces would be trying to figure out how do we figure out Miller and Besser and Pedersen and Kuzmenko in there. I think that would be those would be the bigger questions. So no, I wouldn't say that they're out due to those things. I would definitely have them in consideration if the people spoke thusly.
fair. And I mean, I'm not trying to influence voting or anything. I think I mentioned that I did grow up a Canucks fan. But, and they are in just a horrible situation. But like you mentioned earlier, typically the summer series is a more so aging team, maybe like
Team
a
that just missed the
second
playoffs,
chance.
maybe.
Yeah, like, I mean, if I'm being honest, depending how this last week of the season shakes out, I could see Florida, the Islanders, or the Penguins all being great choices, because
Usually teams without that don't seem like
super.
super well either. Like I wouldn't do the Senators, I don't think, again, unless it's a huge suggestion, because of how good their young core is. We want to keep a bit of a challenge, maybe a few contracts that are albatrosses in some way.
Wow, that's see, that feels like a big take, because I mean, we have a lot of Senator fans in Discord, and
Absolutely.
I know
That's
you
why
love your
if they were
votes.
to speak and vote and garner support, I am always an android of the people. Just I don't think those would be based on previous polls that I've seen. I don't think the Senators would be a top choice of the viewers. What I've been seeing has been Rangers. Now, previously it was Rangers, Bruins a lot, but now they've had successful seasons, maybe not quite as much. But Canadians are always a popular suggestion. Expansion to Quebec. Again, Penguins, Islanders, Panthers. They're usually in the mix.
0-1.
Joe, actually, I haven't been looking too much. Oh, I got really fooled on that one. Joe said Habs series is a must watch back in NHL 18, yes. And Nay asked, what's my favorite state? Oof, that's a tough one. Favorite state. I'm not sure if I have one. I haven't been to very many. Actually, I've been to more states than I've been to provinces. Well, because of how small they are. I've driven through many of them as well.
Well, there's also like 50 of them in.
Right. So that being said, I don't think I can answer your question, Nay, but I do have some preference, I suppose, for Illinois, for the time that I spent there. Oh, I was hoping that bounce off the mound would get me.
That was very fortunate. RNG smiled on me
man.
there. Holy cow.
That's too bad.
True. Well, no, I'll toot my own horn. I took Jorge Polanco out and replaced him with Solano, I believe, at second.
Well, there you go.
Oh, and here he is to hit. And
Perfect.
there we go. There's the user error we were looking for on the last play as I swing it at 56-foot breaking pitch.
Legend also left a comment. I didn't see this one earlier because with the speaking and the playing, so thank you for your patience. Legend said, quoting me, fine, I'll do it myself, a la Thanos, after I saw channels weren't quite... Oh, no, I wanted to change player. After seeing
No
that.
worries. I won't run. That's... No, accidental button presses, we're not punishing that.
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you. Very kind. After seeing that, the content was always out there, but I didn't find it was... Not to say that I'm better than anyone else or that the channels weren't good. It just they weren't my style of franchise mode. I think always a very popular example is Tactics, who is a very popular franchise moder, NHLer. But I find, for as much support as he has, there's many people who says, no, it's not my style, I don't like the way he does it, and that's fine. It's not your style. Just that I didn't find that there was enough for my style, so I said, yeah, I guess I'll just do it myself.
Hey, good for you, man. I definitely dig the DIY attitude, and as somebody who was not as dedicated as you, was definitely wildly inconsistent, I really have to tip my hat to the fact. I mean, you've taken like a week off here and there, but you've been so consistent for years at this point.
Ooh, I was too slow on that one.
Well fielded, and my gosh, I had a 3-0 count, and I almost grabbed into double play.
Was that
bad.
Yeah, that 90 speed helped you out, I think.
Oh, 100%. Byron Buxton is easily the most enjoyable player to use on this Twins team.
That's a ball.
Yeah, that's what I gotta say. Consistency, I think that's a major, not just a hallmark of my content, but also just like a secret, I think, as well, to content in general. Ooh, I was not way too slow on that. So yeah, consistency is huge. I don't think I've ever taken more than a week off at Christmas or a week off in the summer. I usually take a week there is probably 2 weeks a year. I already have my plans ready for the Bedard simulation. May 8th, the day that he gets the draft lottery comes out, I'm pulling an all-nighter, and I'm not going to bed until the career simulation is up. So just being consistent, trying to be fast, trying to capitalize, and trying to make it content that people want to see as well. Helpful content. The guides have always been... Oh, that actually helped me out. The guides have always been a hallmark as well of the channel. So just trying to keep it consistent, give people what they know what they're going to get, good home cooking, and no big... that was a bad pitch. No big hiatuses, unannounced hiatuses. I know I don't owe it to anyone. I know everyone would be very accommodating if I were to say, I'm going to be gone for a month or something like that. I know that. There's a great community here. But at the same time, I love doing it. I love franchise mode. I love the content. I love the storylines. I love everyone getting involved. So although it does feel like work when it's 2 in the morning and I'm doing a simulation and I want to pull my hair out because of EA, that feels like work. But the final product, people watching it, people enjoying it, people saying this is crazy, this was cool, blah, blah, blah. That's what makes it worth it.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that because obviously I'm biased. I love watching the stuff, my man. It keeps me coming back, and also I get it. It's tough. Like, editing is punishing. The rewards are there, but you definitely don't see them till the end. And I couldn't tell you how many things I have left 60% finished that I'm just like, I don't want to spend 4 more hours to get this 20-minute video out.
Right.
Ball one.
Oh,
So really, I tip my hat to you. You're able to avoid the burnout, whether you have some tactics or, as the kids say, you're built different. They haven't said that in 5 years, have they?
Oh, no!
Speaking of built different, you can
Built
put her
different!
on the board!
He's just built different!
We took it to the max. Kepler, 444 feet.
Oh
102
my
off.
goodness. Oh, I wouldn't mind watching that. Oh my goodness. Max Kepler, wow. Whew. Confidence just took a beating on the Keller.
Well, feel free to get the bullpen warmed up. Every game is Game 7, so bring out another starter in the third, whatever.
That's it. Oh my goodness.
Experiment with the roster you're going to be using, right?
Right. Big thank you to Joe and Scott as well, saying, Joe, I can't speak for all, but for me it's the community involvement that keeps bringing me back, and Scott says the same. And that's where I'm very glad that the Discord server came about. I'm very sorry, I can't remember who it was who suggested it, but whoever, it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't want to put someone's name out who it isn't, but the person who suggested it, you know who you are, and if I scroll back in enough Discord messages, I'll find it. But that was one of the greatest suggestions I've ever received, and that ended up being a great time. I think we're past 400 members in there, and many people very active. Maybe not every day, but there are many people who are always sending a message here and there, or reading it, or involving themselves, especially when talking about their own franchise modes.
Oh yeah, it's really a big draw. And like it was said in the chat, the community involvement is wonderful. I mean, look, literally what you're doing right now. You're letting one of the people that found your videos a few years ago who happens to do some MLB stuff interview you and put it out there and contribute to the content on top of all the comments you go through. And that, personally, is probably my favorite part of your videos, is the fact you put those comments in. The first 15, 20 minutes is just the feedback, and that you have the assistant general managers out there. It's what I think more than anything else sets you apart.
I think those are two big things that I also, aside from just styles of franchise mode, those are two things that I really didn't like.
Max.
I didn't like that other franchise mode people would say, okay, send me your comments, and then they would never, not only would they not reference them in their videos, they wouldn't even reply to them in the comments. It would be, okay, send me your comments, get the engagements up in my video, but I'm never going to engage with you. I found that to be frustrating. On top of the community as well, I found, again, not always the case, but many communities can be quite toxic. I've been to Discord servers, I've been in comment sections, and you'll always have those few people. But I find a lot, like, just for 2BC, for example, love 2BC, I would not be able to be a part of his community. Like, just being in a stream, you're getting roasted just for being there, just for having an idea on anything. So I'm more of a viewer in that sense. That's why I wanted to make it, in my own videos, I want it to be a space like that. So there's the recording, there's the editing, there's the uploading, and there's also the comment replying. So that does take a good hour per video, I'd say. About you have big books of comments. I don't want the books to stop coming. Cheating Heel and his books in the last few Sharks episodes, did they take a super long time to reply to? Absolutely. Would I change anything? Not at all, because they're so chock full of information.
You know, if Cheating Heel's here or watches this later, I just want them to know, God, I am jealous of your screen name. I am a 30-year-long wrestling fan, and that is chef's kiss good. Well, hey, there's the receipt, the top left corner of Data's screen, Patitude V1. Wrestling fans know that 20-year-old wrestling reference.
If Data 782 ever gets copyright stricken, I think my new name will be What a Pittance 782. That's my only wrestling thing that I know, and I love it.
I love that is somehow caught on as one of the Discord memes.
What a pittance.
So, you know what? Since it's been 2 years, Data, I'll ask a question I asked last time. If someone were to just walk up to you on the street and you were to actually tip your hand at your secret identity, what series would you tell them to watch first? Which NHL series? And maybe this is a two-part question, if this answer's different. Well, which series are you proudest of, and maybe which series would you send people towards?
Wow. That is a great question. This should win you a Pulitzer Prize or whatever prize they give. I'm going to start with the proudest series, and I'm proud of all of them, not just because of how fun they are, but because of how it doesn't just get boring after 10 episodes. We can have it going for 30-plus episodes, so I'm very proud of each and every one. But I will say that I think probably the Honolulu Huskies in NHL, is it 19 or 20? I think it was 9. No, I think it was... I'm going back and forth here. I think it was 19 after the Brooklyn Bellows, maybe. So I'm going to say I think it was NHL 19. But the Honolulu Huskies, there was a lot of creative players. There were a lot of... It was an expand... Not only it was a 30-second team. It was a 30-second team in a fantasy draft. So it was an expansion fantasy draft, which is not easy to do because there's no setting for that in franchise mode. You got to create the team, replace a team, then do a fantasy draft of that team. So that was a fun series, and I think we had a lot of really fun storylines going in each season. I remember I years later, it's hard to remember every player. The series kind of mixed together, but I remember Ellis Anderson, Duke Silver.
Yes,
there was Quinn Hughes in there. There was the third line that all went point per game plus of Cole Perfetti and the two generated players on his wings, I think.
Actually, Data, if I may interject there, at the risk of fansplaining, I think that means that it was NHL 20 because of the chemistry. Oh.
Okay, I'll just hold it there. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Whoa!
Okay, we'll let the first one ride.
What am I doing? What am I doing wrong here, Pat? What am I doing wrong? Am I holding it too long?
I wasn't looking at your screen. You're using button accuracy with the meter?
Correct.
you want to get it in the green of the meter, and honestly, sometimes it's tough with the outfield throws. I would oftentimes use L1 instead, because L1 throws to your cutoff man instead of one of the bases.
Okay.
So
Well, that's it. We live and
depending on
learn.
the outfielder, yeah, it's tough sometimes when they're moving. It is tricky. They did it to make the game a little more skill based, but there's a definite learning curve to the throwing. So yeah,
Okay, I was gonna say because I know I'm not the greatest player, but I was gonna say it can't be. I don't remember my throws from the outfield being that wild.
no. Like trust me, my first game online this year, I was throwing stuff into the third row. It looked like Chuck Knobloch out there.
Good to know. Thank you. You rekindled my confidence. Can't say the same for
no
Mitch
worries.
Keller, but mine is up there.
That's good. I wish I thought of that first. Darn it.
Sorry, you were fansplaining something?
Oh yeah, I think the Huskies was NHL 20 because they had that +5 chem on the third line, and 20 was the first year with chemistry.
Very good, very good.
I thought you were going to catch that 25 speed. I was not running anyway.
I don't know. I guess I have to get under it a bit more. I thought he was going to catch that as well.
I get that when you're trying to load up the throw. I literally did that online about 2 days ago with, it doesn't matter the specifics, but I was set back to load the throw up to catch and throw home. I just also stood back a little too far, and it didn't catch.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. I was trying to load up the throw to home, and there you go.
Yeah, don't worry. This is all part of it.
Maybe I shouldn't have chosen the Pirates for the first game, but here we go.
Fair. Well, you know what? Let the chat decide. Give us a good team.
We'll go for a good
playoff
team
level team. Who do you want to see Data use? And maybe pick a really good pitcher. Give him DeGrom to just burn me down. And I'll pick the Diamondbacks. Oh no, the Nationals. And I'll use the Expos jerseys. They're a terrible team. Get to see that Expos drip because we were talking about them earlier today. It'll be lovely.
So, were you done your thoughts on the Huskies?
Oh shoot! Yeah, I sorry, we got sidetracked with the actual game. Failing as an interviewer here, Data.
You already won your Pulitzer.
By asking the question, just not seeing the conclusion of it. But yeah, so I guess was your answer for both the Huskies as the one you send people?
So the one I'd suggest, good now, it's not. How can I put this? Because I wouldn't say the production value has really increased. It's still me sitting on a folding chair in front of a microphone. But it did used to be like a headset, and now I do have like a blue snowball, so the sound quality has gotten better, things like that over time. But just in terms of like trial and error, like I used to do. Oh, come on, buddy. At least get one. No. Just in terms of learning what works, like I used to do comments I would just read the comment instead of putting it out on the screen. Like I used to do. I was sometimes if the off season was short enough, I would start the season, or if the playoffs were short enough, I would start the off season because it used to be that there wasn't really anybody suggesting because there was no one really watching, which is fine. You should just be me. Now I have to kind of take into consideration that other people want to add their thoughts. I need to give them time to watch. Not everyone's going to be able to watch it on the first day that it comes out. So I have to take that into consideration. So then my content, I add things in between. You got the MLB, you got the guides, you got the career simulations to kind of buffer between franchise episodes. So all that's it. Long story short, if I had to suggest a series to watch, I'd probably choose something from 22 or 23. And I'd probably say the Seattle Kraken series to start it off, yeah.
Oh, good pick. And you know what? That's a sneaky one. I wouldn't have thought it myself. But I love the way you started it by doing your own version of the Kraken draft.
Right.
Which I assume was a lot of work getting the roster set up. God, so happy they added roster sharing because the nightmare of customizing your own rosters for every series, right?
Right. Got some early swings there going.
Well, I decided Max Kepler hit the home run last time. It's more fun, go bases loaded 2 out. So,
I see.
One of these base runners was error. So
I see.
We'll
Well,
call it
here's
even.
Kepler. Let's see what we do for Kepler. Let's see what Dwayne Underwood Jr. does.
You tried to hit me. You threw
No,
right in
no,
my
no.
head.
I
You
would
dirty
never
dog.
do that. I would
Dirty,
never
rotten
do that.
scoundrel, you.
I would never do such a thing.
I'm doing a good job keeping it PG. This is not how it always comes out on my streams, my man.
That's another thing that I didn't quite like. Like, again, not to speak down on anybody. Everyone does their
no.
own style. But for example, like
No offense taken.
Oh no, it's not. It's not to you, Pat. Like I would say, what you say is rather tame. I would, unless I've missed out on some major explosions from you. Like for example, I have a hard time watching Tugi, as much of a genius as he is in terms of roster and franchise mode. I just have a hard time watching him. I'm not someone who uses language at any time in my life. You'll never hear me say a word like that, and especially not in my videos. So I just have. I don't know. I don't watch media. I don't watch movies that have heavy language either. It's not for me. It's not something that I really enjoy hearing much of. So that's another thing I want to do. I want to make it something that was friendly for whether you be. Let's get that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I thought he was gonna touch first and then throw to home.
There were two out. You just had to touch first, my man.
I was running to first, and then I.
You need to. Damn. Okay.
That's okay.
Sorry. And there I go, break with dropping the D word. I'm gonna strike out. We'll call that the end of the inning.
Okay, thanks. Give me.
Oh my gosh, no. Like, that's fair's fair. I mean, you're having a nightmare of learning the throw controls right now.
That's all right. As I said in the beginning, MLB is not my game. I love franchise, but I never really play much. And Pat is being a good sport here, helping me out with that grand slam and 2 more runs, make it 6-0 at the moment. Yeah, so all that to say, I want to make it something that was accessible to someone, whether they be like 8 or 9. I had some people say they like watching their video with their children. Like a father and a son told me once that they like watching my videos together. I think that's the 3rd out that I get from a foul in foul territory. So I want to do something that's whether you be 8 or whether you be in your 60s. If you can look at your age demographic on audience on YouTube, and I do have a few people who are watching in this like 60 to 75 range even. So I want to make it good for everybody.
Well, I think we all appreciate it, and you know what? It's not necessary. Clearly, I don't feel like we're missing anything because. As we've all seen on some of the playoff videos, my personal favorite, you get tilted time to time. That simulation hits hard, does some nasty things, but you always keep your cool. And I'm sure it helps the fact you don't use off-color language in your real life.
Right, exactly. I'm living in that Gene Roddenberry utopia.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's a 5-star reference for everyone here that may get that.
Thank you. Like that's why I was a bit disappointed. Like I love Data with his emotions in Star Trek Generations, but he was using a little bit of language. I'm not sure if Data would do that. You know, I don't know.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, it's also one of those things. There are going to be a bit of rose-tinted goggles for us, like going back to what we remember and what maybe is our platonic ideal of the series. It's going to be a little different now. It's I had to go through this a few times with those martial arts turtles I grew up with. I had a lot of strong opinions, and there have been like 9 versions of the Ninja Turtles in 20 years, and they're all fine. Not all of them are for me. I'm also pushing 40, so it shouldn't be for me. They're not selling toys to myself.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Joe says, I can't hear the word disgusting without hearing Data's voice anymore, and I'm okay with that.
Right? Those greedy RFAs, pardon me.
Those greedy RFAs, they're disgusting greed.
Oh, for some of the newer people that may be to the channel, can you tell us about the legend of Kyle Wood, Data?
Oh my goodness, Kyle Wood. We don't really use his name enough anymore, just because he's in the KHL and he's unable to be used. Last year was great when he was playing on Jaromir Jagr's team in the Extra Liga. Is it the Extra Liga? Is that the Czech? I believe the Czech league, correct?
You'd probably know better than me.
I believe it's the Extra Liga. So when he was on Jaromir Jagr's team, I was able to bring him over to the NHL, so that was great. But now this year he's in the KHL, and last time I checked, his numbers were great. especially for a defensive defenseman. Actually, I'm not going to be able to... in between next batter, I'm going to have to check that out. I have my computer next to me. I just need to know what those numbers are.
Oh, of course.
Okay. Kyle Wood, DB. He's with, I think he's with, is he with the Red Star? Kunlun Red Star? Yeah, he is. Kunlun Red Star. 19 points in 62 games this year. For a guy who would score like 5 points a season. Well, you know what? Maybe that's a misnomer. Maybe that's just franchise mode. Because with the Tucson Roadrunners, he scored 43 points in 68 games in 2016-17. So this guy can score.
Yeah, that's nothing to sneeze at for sure.
I'm good to go. Thank you for the pause. So Kyle Wood.
No worries. I'm also warming up some bullpen arms. Get some variety out
okay,
here.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, show you a bit of what you missed.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost the Twins.
Almost the Twins. Kyle Wood, I believe it was NHL 20 when the legend of Kyle Wood began. I know he was in the game before that, but I think NHL 20 is when the actual legend began. So Kyle Wood, I believe he's 6'7". I forget how much he weighs, 200 plus pounds. So
he is indeed 6'7".
Yeah, he's just a monster.
I have noticed that in the past, Data. You seem to be a fan of the big players. Any particular reason, or just
no? I wouldn't say any particular reason. I'm not the tallest individual in the real world either. I think I've weighed the same thing for the last 5 years. I'm not. I wouldn't be in Kyle Wood's category, even close to it. But yeah, so Kyle Wood, I think he just started as a free agent signing, and it's that tale as old as time in franchise mode, where you have that one guy who just has that really good performance, that one postseason, and you kind of fall in love with him. And it started with that. I don't think Kyle Wood was anything crazy at the beginning. He was just like a consistent third pair guy who, despite being 75, 76, 77 overall, was always a plus player. When he came in for injured players, he would have like 5 games played and be a +6 out of nowhere, while his partner was like a -11 beforehand. So we started to trust him some more, and I think it was the Huskies series where we first had the most Kyle Wood content, where he was in some seasons a full-time player for us, and I think his legend was cemented when he scored an overtime winner. Not to win the cup or anything like that, but it was a postseason overtime winner where he pinched and scored in the slot as a 6'7" defensive defenseman. And from there, it just became we'd always sign him. He always played third pair. He always was very reliable. Never really had any issues with Kyle Wood, and he just became a guy who was in all of our franchise modes up until the time he left. And he was a channel legend for so many reasons. He would score very timely goals very often. He would be a postseason performer. He'd have maybe 4 points in 82 games and then score 7 points in 20 games in the postseason. So he would be a big postseason clutch performer, which we all know that we love on the channel.
So I guess for the newer viewers, the original version of, I want to say Madden is his name?
Tyler Madden?
Tyler Madden, yes.
Yes.
Who has now been in 2, right? The Phillies series and now the Sharks, if memory serves?
Yeah, he's kind of like the most recent... no one ever could be like Kyle Wood, but if there's anyone who comes close in recent history, Tyler Madden's kind of like that guy.
Well, there you go. Highest praise.
There you go.
Tyler Madden, but even more legendary.
He did score a big overtime goal himself in the Flyers series. And he's been a consistent depth guy. We got him for a 7th round pick in the Sharks series. He scored 20+ points. I don't blame him for being greedy in contract negotiations because the EA robots took over his brain. But now he's signed back on. He's back for another season. I'm looking forward to 2030-31, which I'll probably record sometime over this long weekend.
Ooh. Actually, speaking of that, what do you have in the chamber? Anything new and interesting coming up with the Shark series concluding, and obviously the Pirates series?
Yeah, well, tomorrow night we'll have the second. Well, I wouldn't call it the second half, but the continuation of the Pirates series, where I think we're only 15 games in, In a perfect world, I like to do the draft and maybe go up until the trade deadline. Ooh, all right. First walk of the night. Thank you. Got something. A little bit of discipline, a little +5 discipline. So I think, yeah, we'll do the continuation. I don't know if we'll finish it, but we'll do the... Oh, my goodness!
Don't eyeball me like that again.
Will this come back to haunt Pat with Carlos Santana at the plate?
All I want to do is make terrible jokes about Carlos Santana, the musician. Puns, I guess.
Santana, like, most of my baseball knowledge comes from fantasy baseball, which I started playing. Well, now it's different, but I mean, most of my baseball knowledge from, I want to say, 2016 to 20 came from fantasy baseball. And Carlos Santana was like my first baseman, I want to say, almost every year that I played. I loved having him on Cleveland.
You know, it's I'm glad the pushback to fantasy sports and video games has subsided, as obviously, you know, people that grew up with it have aged out and become the adults, myself included. Because there was a lot of bad mouthing before, but it's an amazing gateway into sports. Like, I liked football, but I didn't start watching other teams beyond San Francisco until I played fantasy football.
There you go, G-Man
And similarly with, like, I actually kind of fell out of love with hockey, and the NHL games brought me back with NHL 20.
There you go. There you go. I again...
Nice 2 runs.
Thank you. I'm glad that I finally earned them. And Slim in the chat, he says, the king is here. Welcome aboard, Slim.
Hey, Slim, my man.
Rob Nen is the GOAT, absolutely. Hold on. Oh, right to him. All right, 2 runs. We got something going at least.
There you go. Bats are warmed up.
All right, I'm not an absolute embarrassment.
Oh, no, certainly not. Like, trust me, Data. You barely play, I think. Is this the first actual full game you've played since our last time doing this?
Aside from trophy hunting with sliders being super wonky, yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, trust me. Your eye is better than, I'd say, half the people I play online, people who choose to do that with their free time.
Oh, well, thank you. This has really been a nice... I'm receiving a lot of flowers from you here. Continuing on, you had said... oh, yeah, so we'll do the continuation of the Pirates tomorrow evening. After that, we'll have the Sharks coming soon. I think what the plan on the Sharks is going to be... I think we're going to have year number 9 be normal. I'll simulate the whole season in 1 episode. Presumably, we'll have the playoffs as well in another episode. And then the off-season in another one. So I would think 3 more regular YouTube episodes. And then year number 10... Come on. No, I know exactly what I did wrong there. I was trying to run... I was holding down the left stick while also doing it. I just gotta throw. I can't be running and trying to throw as well. I know I did
fair.
I'm learning. I'm adapting. I'm a real android. I'm learning my surroundings. Yeah, so I think we'll have 3 more regular YouTube episodes of the Sharks before we do the big Year 10 wrap-up stream. Hopefully, again, another full season plus postseason. Oh, no. At least it wasn't a grand slam this time.
I've seen people take vacations shorter than that. Oh my gosh, I can't even see my player. The camera angle I'm using, he's so far back in the box.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I couldn't even see him.
I can view shift. I can see. Oh, that's interesting. Illegal.
Well, actually, so we have talked a bit about your hockey fandom. What about the other major sports? I'm guessing hockey might be your #1 most watched in your free time. But,
yeah, definitely.
Where would the rest rank? Like, do you watch, say, a lot of baseball as well, or NBA, football? Are you mostly a hockey guy? Are you just super into pairs figure skating?
Well, definitely hockey's up there. Any hockey team. Unfortunately, well, actually, I won't say unfortunately, because at one time, I know TSN, remember they had the hockey rights. I went to Sportsnet, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to see games anymore. Actually, I see a ton of games, because I have a lot of the French networks as well. There's RDS. There's TVA. So I see, and plus you have the CBC, then there's Sportsnet, then you have the regional games on TSN. I get the Ottawa games here in Montreal. So I actually do see quite a few games that are not just all Montreal Canadiens games. I get to see a lot of different teams, which is exactly what I want. I'm not going to be paying for NHL center ice or anything like that. So I do watch a lot of hockey and a lot of varied hockey. If I'm not watching a team, it's probably more likely that I'm just in bed than anything else. Because if it's on and I'm awake, that's what I'll be watching. Other sports, I do have soccer. I'll watch, of course, all the major tournaments, Champions League. I follow the league that I follow most closely would be the Italian Serie A. There's also the English Premier League, but not as much. That's just again, and La Liga even because they play on TSN. So whatever's there, I'm able to see more of. But the Italian Serie A is what I follow most closely, just in terms of like social media accounts and watching information on, just aside from the games itself. On top of that, I unfortunately, and you're not going to be happy with this one.
Pitch.
Thank you.
Slider through the skylight. That was a dot. That was gorgeous.
Okay, thanks.
I want to frame that and put it on my wall.
Okay, all right. I unfortunately despise the NBA.
Really? Whoa! Yeah. Volcanic take hour mark. Tell me more. Oh my gosh, I'm pulling up a chair for this.
Well, I gotta say, I've never been a big basketball guy. I love playing basketball. I will say, like, The Last Dance, for example. I love The Last Dance. I love that era as well. Oh, just foul. I love that. I love the 90s era of basketball. I don't know much. I wasn't watching it really growing up, and I also kind of just missed it. But when I see the highlights and watch the documentaries, the 30 for 30s and all that, 90s basketball era is easily my favorite. Those would be games that I would watch. Nowadays, I have the same problem with football. Way too many stoppages, way too many like timeouts and all of this. Then in the NBA, it's just like, you gotta let him, if he's driving the net, you gotta let him drive, or if you breathe on him, it's a foul. I find it's just hard to get into it when there's so many interruptions and so many like little, small, minute violations. I don't like that. The same reason why, as well, it's following the rules, but same thing for VAR in soccer. I hate how many stoppages and how many goals are taken back, even though, technically it's the rules, but it's like, these centimeters that are killing the game, I find. Even though fundamentally I agree with what's happening. Anyways, so I'm not a big fan of the NBA. I'll watch highlights. I follow it. I know which team. I can tell you all about the NBA. It's not that I will stray away from it. I could tell you more than the average person, even, I would think. But watching a game, last time I watched a full game was probably the Raptors in the final. I don't think I've watched a full game since then.
That's fair. I'll be honest. Pandemic NBA was not much fun for me. Like the various sports, it was interesting to see what was able to keep my interest with and without a crowd, because the results surprised me. Baseball, I hated without fans.
Yeah,
like, absolutely avoided 2020. I'd say like the plague, but we saw how people dealt with the literal plague in 2020, so let's not use that turn of phrase anymore.
Right.
But you know what I'm trying to say. That was one thing. 2020 hockey. Like, hockey is amazing without fans. It's still excellent to watch.
It is.
Anyway, sorry.
And
weird sidebar.
I think we saw that in the bubble, right?
Yeah. Like, I watched more hockey that year than NBA, and most years the inverse is true.
That's inside.
So that's interesting to know. So, if you're a big fan of pace of play, do you like the changes MLB's made with the pitch clock, or have you gotten much exposure to it since it's only been a week into the season?
And before I answer your question, Walter asks, was I a Grizz fan? I'm just sorry if I'm totally off here. I'm assuming that's the Memphis Grizzlies, since they were in Vancouver. I wouldn't say so. And I wouldn't say I'm a Raptors fan either, just because they're in Canada. If I had to choose a team, I don't know, maybe like,
That's ball three.
I like the Suns. I like Steve Nash. Hard to really choose a team aside from that. I enjoy high quality. You know, that's me. I enjoy high quality. I'm not going to be looking for anything crazy. Finally. Like, I enjoy
No.
players more than I enjoy teams, I think. Probably that's a fair thing to say.
Hey, bully for you for admitting that. A lot of people, a lot of sports fans, it's probably the thing about sports fandom I like least is the obsessive fandom. Now, it's also one of the best things, but when people get into conflict with each other over like how die-hard a fan they are and criticizing, say, bandwagon or casual fans, why? You're liking the same thing, just for
I used to be one of those
slightly
people,
different
actually. I remember distinctly in high school when it was the Canadians getting eliminated by the Rangers due to Chris Kreider. We won't go into that. I distinctly remember that. And there were other people in my school that were going for the Canadians, and they got eliminated, and they were like, okay, ho-hum. I remember, like, tearing into them. I mean, not viciously, but, like, just, like, I was saying, like, you're not a real fan. Like, I'm the one who bled for this team. I'm the one who watched all the games. You're going to come here and say you cared? That was just, some good old high school angsting. But I remember being one of those people at one point.
I went to high school when emo was big, so trust me, high school angst rings true.
And well, yeah, Kreider still gets death threats on Reddit for that one, says Walter. Yeah. And Walter also asked, actually no, I answered that question on the Grizzlies. Yes. So, yeah, Kreider's still getting, for that one. Tokarski did well, but it was unfortunate. So the pitch clock, so that was your original question, the pitch clock. Going back to that. It's tough because it's, on the one hand, I hate how some players would abuse stepping out, pause, fix the glove, fix the boot, fix the strap on this, fix that, then the pitcher, no, don't like that, and then pitch, and it's a foul ball, and we do it all over again. So I didn't like that, but at the same time, I did enjoy the gamesmanship. I did enjoy the showdowns. I did enjoy that element. So I don't like everything just being kind of streamlined. So it's kind of like a few people kind of ruined it for everybody. Like, I enjoyed sometimes when it was used strategically, but other people who were just annoying kind of ruined it.
Woo. Yeah, no kidding. That was a hot line drive.
That was a
Nicely
hot one
done.
there. So if I had to say, do I want it or do I not want it, I'd probably lean that I don't want it, but I also like it a lot, if that makes sense. I like it a lot that those things can't happen. But at the same time, baseball fundamentally, it's a leisurely thing. Watching it from my couch is one thing. That's when you kind of want it to be sped up. But for the few games that I have been to, I only went as a child to see the Expos. But for the spring training games I've seen in person of the Blue Jays, I've seen one game. I saw Cubs Dodgers from Wrigley Field in the outfield a few years ago. From the games that I have been to, I've enjoyed the. I didn't find myself in the 7th or 8th inning saying, like, can we go home now? I was there knowing what I was getting myself into, type of thing. If I'm watching TV and I have 100 different channels I could change to, and people are bothering me, and there are 100 different ways my attention could go, then yes. If the game's getting slow, then I'm gonna start to wander. But if I've blocked out this time of my life to be here, it's kind of like it's expected.
Fair. The reason I paused it, Data, I wanted to give you some fair warning. I will take Duran out after 3 hitters. Again, wanted you to see what you were missing with the Pirates over the Twins. Duran is no fun. You are not going to enjoy these next 3 hitters. He throws so hard, and his splitter goes 92. I
saw the 99 on the 4 seam there when you paused. Oh, it's 4.
I just wanted you to be prepared for what's about to happen. I'll take him out afterwards, have someone who you can actually have a little more success with. But
all right,
you'll basically have to hit the button soon.
Here we go. Oh boy.
101.
101. How does Hunter Green do in this game?
Good. So as far as online play, the speed differentials are very much king. You want to have good control so you don't end up doing what I just did and put it right down the middle, because if you can catch up to 101 and the other person can't place it, you'll have a great time. But there are a lot of people that, because they, like me, play on a 10-year-old television, or maybe they don't have an Ethernet connection wired in. There we go. I messed up on a throw, trying to catch the 99 speed.
Thank goodness for 99 speed.
Whereas with franchise, so for you, I think like really high velocity is almost a detriment. It's sort of like hollow calories, but for ratings for a player. When you have a high velo rating, you will have a higher overall. That does not help you simulate. If you throw 82 miles an hour, but have an amazing hits per 9 rating, you will sim better than the guy who throws 102, but has 20 lower in the hits per 9 category. So, for your purposes tomorrow, no. I would almost look for low velo guys like Sean Manaea, legend of the Oakland A's franchise mode 2 years ago. Perfect example. Mike Soroka as well. They had great hits per 9s, great walks per 9s, simulation goods. Online, both guys get knocked around like yesterday's garbage.
Oh, wow. Okay. JH Philly, welcome to the stream, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, wow. It's tough because not only does he have the 12-6 curve, which I love. Well, I hate right now, but I love. He also has the ability to have like from 80 miles per hour to 100 miles per hour. So I'm swinging way too early or I'm swinging way too late half the time.
Well, and that's just it. You have to cheat for the fastball and the splitter, and then he has the 2 off-speed pitches, which we can't see now because they just took Duran out.
That's too bad.
What, are you serious? You think it's too bad you don't have to deal with that nonsense?
There may have been a tinge of something in my voice there. Walter says, question for Pat. How long have you been playing the show? You seem very knowledgeable.
Oh my goodness. Literally since 2006. I started back on the PS2 or 3. Maybe that was PS3. I forget which system I had to buy. Yeah, it was PS3. Thinking back. I had to buy a PS3 in either 06 or 07 in order to play the show. So ever since then, I did take about 4 or 5 years off from the show 13 to the show 19. And that was because I did not have a PlayStation 4 at the time. And I actually just really fell out of sports games. But yes, it is what I spend about 8 months of my year playing. And I do play online. I'm not, a super competitive, like, make what they call World Series rank every year guy. But I win about 60, 70% of my games. I have fun doing it. You build a team, no money spent, because you spent $80 on the game, that's enough. You can get good enough cards for free, and I just love baseball. And personally speaking, I think the show is the best sports game on the market at replicating what it's trying to replicate. People might not think it's the most fun. It's certainly slower than NBA 2K, but it very much rewards skill, and as far as being a baseball simulation, it checks all the boxes I want.
There you
go. Swing and a drive.
Walter says, I think that's the David Ortiz cover. Such a classic.
Oh, yes, that was. I can confirm that was my first. Loved Poppy.
JH Philly also saying, it's been a while since I watched you. Last time was the Flyers franchise mode. That was a great live stream that evening. Sorry I haven't been back earlier. No problem, buddy. Anytime that you stop by, it is a pleasure to see you. And if you haven't already, maybe you try catching up on the Sharks franchise mode, because we'll have a live stream of that probably coming in a couple of weeks' time. But thanks for stopping by on this lovely Thursday evening, and for making yourself known as well. Always nice to say hello.
So I guess I'll throw this out quickly. I'm not sure how long you're wanting to go, Data, but we are approaching 9 o'clock. We're also nearing the end of this game. Anybody in the chat out there have any questions? Please speak now. Also, do my job for me, please.
Yes. Any questions, let me know. I would think we'll wrap this game up, and maybe we'll do like a 4 or 5 inning game after that, Pat?
Sure. Do you want to do the bad contracts draft?
Oh, that's also something we can do. Oh!
Did he go?
Yes, sir.
Entirely your choice.
I would just pull up a page next to me so I'm not speaking out of nowhere. But I would be happy
of course.
Oh.
Oh, you know what? And that's just an experience thing. That just wasn't the best angle for the ball. That was a tough angle to catch. Like, you would have probably wanted to, with your stick, go to about 1 o'clock to intercept that. But
Okay.
again, that's the thing where, like, me playing this game for 15 hours a week for 8 months of the year catches up.
1-1.
JH Philly, I will definitely catch up on the Sharks franchise. Perfect. Nice little long weekend to do so. And Slim says next game, long ball beasts versus expansion era boomers.
Oh, that way we get to use some legends. You know what? If you're down for that, Data, I love that suggestion.
Sure. Unless anyone has any super strong thoughts against that, I would be fine.
I think the only thing Slim will be upset that Jeff Kent is not in the game.
That's true, eh? That's too bad. I think that was some sort of bias against him, no? I think I read that the developers have some sort of hate.
Oh, you know what? We could definitely spread some fake news there. I mean, it is San Diego Studios. They were not fielding the Giants in 2002. Barry Bonds also not in the game.
Ooh. Something to think about.
Just cue the X-Files sting. You with these skylight breaking balls. My goodness. Absolutely gorgeous pitches. I'm jealous I'm not throwing these. Look at this reverse pitching, low heaters.
Hey, I got something in me. I got that dog in me. Is that what the kids say?
Yeah, yes, I think so. You're asking the guy pushing for you.
Such a beautiful Bednar.
The breaking ball right into the patella.
Oh,
Interesting stretch.
No. It was such a nice, what I call that, an at-bat if I'm the pitcher. Oh, that was nice.
No, it's still an at-bat.
Oh, and then there you go, Bednar. You fraud.
Oh, right. So if you're up by 10, and it's after the 4th inning, they called mercy.
Good, thank goodness. Walter says Data didn't like the patronizing, so I had to bean him. Wow, alright, let's see the stats after this one. I had a few strikeouts here. It was decent at times. It was, the first 2 innings were good. It was that grand slam in the 3rd that really started to put me behind. 2 runs in the 6th, not too shabby, but in the end, 16 hits given up to 6.
Oh, Joe L has a question.
Oh, perfect.
Question for both of you. In your respective games, should you create a player after yourself? Which position are you and why? All right, Data, why don't you take it for the NHL thing as the reason 90% of us are here?
NHL, definitely. I'm a big fan of creating my actual self. I know I've done Commander Data in the past, and even Goldberg and all that. But creating my actual human self, yes, I enjoy doing that. It's fun. Like, I know be a pro is bad for a lot of reasons, but I usually make myself something where it's fun, like first line centerman. Like in my own personal hockey playing experience, I was often I played both, but at the end of my career I was a defenseman because I was one of the stronger skaters. So I would often go up. I was an offensive defenseman, I guess you could call it, but I had a strong two-way game. Don't get upset, Slim. So that's who I was in the real world, but I don't really want to play defense and be a pro where they say block shots or else we hate you, even though you have double hat tricks every night. So yes, I would say yes. I do create myself. I do try to make myself into a star, first line centerman, and why? Because I think that's the most fun experience. Yeah, it's fun to be a defenseman, or yeah, it's fun to be a goalie, but I find like limited ice time, you get beat up, you allow 7 goals, like it can get frustrating. I'm just there to have fun. If you're there for a different type of experience, then you can try to go that other way. But that's a long answer.
Sent, by the way, Data.
Yeah, I just got thank you. That's a long waits for me to say yes, and I try to make myself not into the star just yet. I have to earn it, but into the position where I will be eligible to become a star, and not get traded for Dan Cloutier. That was in NHL 09, I believe.
And what's great about that, I remember you telling the Dan Cloutier story. So, okay, we need to find these older teams. I'm not sure how. Maybe just keep scrolling. But I remember you telling the Dan Cloutier story, and it was NHL '09. He never played again after the season that '09 was based off of.
Disgusting.
So literally, you got traded for a person on their retirement tour. You got sent for that just cap space
Yeah,
thing that the
and the
Coyotes
Canadians regretted it.
Oh my gosh, I don't think we can choose the...
No, I don't believe so, eh?
That's
No,
a shame.
I did hit R2 Slim. If I hit R1, L1, L2, R2, nothing's coming up.
Oh well.
Yep.
We'll pivot.
So let's see suggestions on
guys,
the teams.
pick someone good for data. I will just pick the Nationals because they are hot garbage, and I can wear Expos uniforms.
There you go. I'll accept it for the second reason. The slander on that World Series champion team of the last few years. Philly says New York, Mets or Yankees. Slim says Rays. Joe says Dodgers, Guardians. Any team that gets like 2 votes would be the one that I would do.
I mean, there is a bit of history with the Mets, and they actually have a really good team, so
True.
that's a great suggestion. Hey, you know what? Even the Jays have monstrous hitters, and all you have to do is pick one good pitcher, which I know he was hot garbage 2 days ago, but Chris Bassett is so hard to hit in this game. If you go
yeah, remember
Bassett,
you saying
have
that?
a terrible time.
Yeah. All right, Yankees.
Oh my
it is.
goodness, his sinker just it moves everywhere. Or you know what? Yankees throw a little Garrett Cole at me. That's never a bad idea either. And they have bullpen for days.
Where are the pinstripes? There we go. Are you wearing the white Expos?
Oh, you know what? No. This works
You
out
go for the
beautifully.
baby
If you
blues?
want to wear white, I'm gonna wear the
There you go.
'80s alternates that are the baby
Oh
blue.
yeah, that's good stuff right there.
Heck yes.
My one piece of I have a lot of Expo stuff, but my one piece of Expos memorabilia is I do have a baby blue Vlad Guerrero jersey card, which I'm very attached to.
Oh wow! So the old man sports thing is definitely about to come up. I have no idea who Thad Ward is. No disrespect to him, but you're 56 overall. You're starting. So I guess a bit of a brag, but the best baseball game I ever attended live was June 30th, 1997, the first ever interleague game between the Blue Jays and the Expos.
Wow.
Pat Henkin on the mound for the Jays, the 96 AL Cy Young Award winner. Pedro Martinez on the mound for the Expos, who would go on to win the Cy Young in the NL that very same season. You know what? Whatever lineup this is fine. I'm not going to pick nits. And both pitchers pitched the whole game, 9 innings each, 2-1. Vlad Sr. hit a home run. Carlos Delgado hit one for the Jays. It was just perfect. I say it all the time, but the Stars played like stars. And also electric crowd. The Jays did not sell out a lot in the late 90s. They sold out that day, and it was my first time also seeing current Canadians mascot, Youppi.
Youppi and I have a very long and strong relationship.
Honestly, I was shocked at how beloved Youppi was by.
Oh, he is so beloved. He could run for mayor, and I'm not even kidding.
Seriously, in 1997, just the Expos fans that traveled to Toronto for that series, like they literally started chanting for Youppi, and I'm just like, wow, the Jays certainly didn't care about Ace or prior BJ Birdie nearly as much. Like,
wow,
that is a true all-time classic mascot.
So we're gonna do
Jays
4 or
just have
5
a
innings.
big-headed blue bird. Oh yeah, we set it to 5 innings.
5 innings, great.
Oh, I meant for us to play at the Polo Grounds, but okay, Safeco Park will do. The site of WrestleMania 19 for my pro wrestling nerds.
Walter said, as an intelligent child, he thought that the Expos played in France at one time.
Nice.
Not too far off. And Philly says, question for Data, what's my favorite sport to watch? It's got to be ice hockey.
Oh, just here, I'll step off. Quick heads up, Data. To speed things up too, I turned quick counts on, so it's already a 2-2 count.
I was about to say, I said, how come the last Torres walked up at a 2-1 count? I was confused. Gotcha.
So definitely heavy on the RNG when you do quick count.
Oh
Like
no.
there you had one pitch,
Oh.
right? But sometimes you'll luck into like it'll be a 3-1 or 3-0 sort of thing as well.
Okay. All right. I see that. Well, that'll work in my favor later on, I'm sure.
It'll also work against me.
That's it.
So.
All right. Quick first inning. There you go.
Oh, right. I kind of forgot to answer Joe's question on the baseball side. I always go pitcher. I did pitch when I was younger. I capped out at being the third best pitcher on my high school team in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. So, not very good. Like I would not be able to make a volleyball sign-up sheet-style slow pitch league anymore. But still, it's fun to play a little make-believe and throw the ball. And the pitcher's the one that basically controls the play. So I was always a big fan of pitching.
Slim says, Pat, were you a submarine pitcher?
No, I wish. I definitely always goofed around and tried, but never had any success doing it. Nicely done. Through the skylight again. No, but I definitely threw garbage. So for those that don't know, I am a big boy. Data would definitely sign me as a random free agent. I'm 6'5", 220 and change. And even in high school, I was like 6'3". So when you see a relatively big fellow, the biggest guy in his class, you assume he's going to throw harder than everyone. No, I threw garbage. Absolute trash. Most of all being a circle change. So, yes, I always fancy myself just throwing a lot of breaking pitches, which was fun for me.
Dickerson. Walter says, Data Pat, do you play in beer leagues nowadays?
I do not. I did dabble, but haven't gone back since COVID. Hoping to, well, geez, I should probably sign up if I'm going to do it this year. But, yeah, you know what? Maybe if you ask me again in 2 months, I'll be in the middle play.
No, there you go. I play all over the place, whether it be pickup or for actual leagues. I played in I had high school growing up. I had soccer. I was in even curling. Tells you how Canadian we are.
Oh my god, curling's so fun.
I loved curling. I did high school curling, high school soccer. I played in ice hockey league. So for 10 years, growing up, like Pee-wee, novice, phantom, all that. There we go.
Oh, on the black. Beautiful.
There we go, Garrett. Aside from that, now I play in ball hockey leagues. I guess, would you call anything that's with adults a beer league? Is that the definition? I suppose.
You know what? That is a good question. I don't know. I always assume sort of there's an assumption of casualness to it.
JH Philly, I'm going to go date. I got work tomorrow at 5. Of course. Have a great night. Thanks for chatting with me. Of course, buddy. I hope that the rest of your weekend, or the upcoming long weekend, will be fantastic. Enjoy the Sharks, and we'll talk soon. Thanks for stopping by tonight. And we have Joe says, do you attend any local minor hockey games like Laval or anything QMJHL? I've never been to a QMJHL game. I don't think I don't have much interest. I gotta say, none of them are super close to me either. I do have friends who have played in the QMJHL, which is fun.
If you are close to minor league hockey, data, treat yourself. Minor league sports are always such a great value because live sports is always the best way to take it in. Typically, plus like these teams need to put on a good show to get people to come back. So the tickets are usually cheap, and there's always fun promotions.
Precisely.
I myself live in Barrie, Ontario, so I haven't been to a Colts game in a minute, but I try and catch as much minor league hockey as I can. I'm originally from Sudbury, and the Wolves were an institution on weekends, to be sure.
I actually had a close friend in my program in university who was from Sudbury. We had a lot of fun Sudbury conversations.
Yeah, we're all this nuts.
Phone's going off.
Did you say hold the phone as a phone rang in the background at your house?
No, I said the phone is going off at the same time.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just being punny.
No. And Joe said, Pat took the words right out of my mouth. I used to live in Pickering, Ontario. Oh,
Pickering, nice. Been there a few times.
Liam says, "Can I trade you?" I assume you're talking about MLB stuff. Oh, perfect, perfect. Then it goes right to him. We're not playing Diamond Dynasty here or anything. I wouldn't have anything to trade you, buddy. Unless you're talking real life hockey cards, you could trade those.
Actually, there isn't a trade function that I know of in.
Oh no,
to
I'm
be
not.
honest.
Maybe Liam's talking about something
Yeah.
else then.
Any clarification, though, my man? I mean, maybe.
Oh, just a bit more. Need a bit more on that. Sorry, going back out, I'm sure I missed something. Walter says, curling is winter golf, and it's amazing. It's one of those sports you have to be out of college to appreciate. I love watching curling whenever I have some time in the Briar and all things like that. And I love that Hobbsy's into it as well. We in the Discord server, we always have some discussions on that. Oh, those sliders are really getting me, I gotta say. Thad Ward. No.
Good eye.
Not that time.
So,
I may have missed
ahead,
something
Data.
else. Yeah, just in terms of leagues. So Walter, in terms of leagues, I do play in a ball hockey league. Deck hockey, I believe. I've played in 3-on-3, 4-on-4. I believe next year I'm doing 3-on-3 deck hockey. That's for organized leagues. On top of that, I still do pick up basketball at the court near my house, street hockey, whatever else.
oh my gosh.
Oh, almost.
Yes, barely. How come when you do it, I just stand there gawking at the pitch, but I throw one high breaking pitch and nearly send it 400 feet?
Liam says, "Can I play with you, buddy?" That would be a great idea for another night. We're just wrapping up this one. There's only a 5-inning game that we're calling it an evening, but this would not be the first time that I'd be open to playing with viewers. I'd be absolutely open to doing that again in the near future. Now, MLB The Show 23 has come out, so if you're interested in that, join the Discord server. Link in the description. We can definitely discuss that. I'd be happy to play with other viewers who'd be interested.
Well, and at the risk of being a cheap shill, anyone who catches me on Twitch, twitch.tv/OLDMANSPORTS,
Of course.
I will often play viewers, be it Diamond Dynasty or Exhibition. It's just fun for me. We all have a crack, play some baseball, shoot the breeze. See, I'm keeping so PG, breeze.
Yeah, and another good part of being in the Discord server is that you can always get those notifications when Pat goes on. You might not know Pat, actually. I'm in your streams quite often. Just that maybe I'm on my phone where I can't comment, or I have it going in the background while I'm doing something. But I'm a lurker. I'm in there.
I was wondering why there was the one set of footprints. Thank you for carrying my channel, Data.
Of course. Walter,
How is your back, by the way, from carrying all of franchise mode on it?
Oh, Walter said he doesn't know what deck hockey is. Is that, Pat, do you know what deck hockey is? Or is it just a Quebec thing? Or is it a Canada thing?
Actually, no. I was meaning to ask. Thank you, Walter, for reminding me. Please elaborate more, my man.
Liam, can I get your phone number? Unfortunately, we're doing a lot of discussions, but that would not be one thing that I'd be giving out, buddy. I'm sorry. Deck hockey. So there's in my ball hockey leagues, I've played on full rinks that just have no ice on it, so essentially concrete. And then another thing, I didn't ever hear about it until maybe about 5 years ago. So maybe it's a new thing, maybe it's a Canada thing. But deck hockey is essentially the same thing. You're in a rink, you're with an orange ball and all that. But the floor, and it's really tough to describe, the floor is kind of like a grill. Like a plastic grill, I want to say. That's kind of like how the floor is. So there are like small holes, very tiny holes in between, like a grill would have. Not enough that you get your toe stuck, but enough that I think it allows the ball to not bounce as much as it would on a concrete surface. So I think, I'm not an expert, so I'll just stop there. But that's deck hockey, and I believe that's the league I'll be in next year.
I hadn't heard the term, but yes, I am aware of deck hockey. I don't know what they call it. I guess just floor hockey typically. Here, as far as I know.
Yeah, for us it's ball hockey. It's just if it's an orange ball, it's a ball hockey. Liam, buddy, if you would go ahead and join the Discord server, link in the description. Actually, the link's not in the description. Give me a second, I'll get you the link. Next switch of the innings, I'll send it over to you. Walter, I'm even more confused now. Walter, that's going to be on my to-do list. I'm going to get you an image after.
Oh, that's fallen.
Oh, thank goodness.
I go to 2. I have no shot.
Yeah.
Oh, bad bounce. Nicely done. Put it where they ain't, Data.
There we go. There we go. There you go, Aaron. I'll get you a picture after, Walter. It's if you wanted to look it up, it would be DEK, I believe. Deck hockey like that. I'm always fully suited out when I play ball hockey or deck hockey. All my teammates will just have like a pair of gloves, and I'll be there like, no, I've had enough experience in my day. I'm wearing the shin pads. Oh, could it?
Just missed that. No.
I wear the shin pads, I wear the helmet, I wear the gloves, I wear the jock, I wear the socks with the tape. Even though it's not just ball hockey, I'm not there to have to miss work the next day because of something.
Data, you are absolutely the guy at the YMCA in rec specs with the Dwight Howard double sleeves, aren't you?
Yeah. That's good. Double sleeves.
Hey, amazing. I'm here for it. If you're going to do something, look good doing it.
Also, in ball hockey, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I am quite a fast runner, I would say. I was also a fast skater, but I'm also a fast runner. So I do a lot of running, sliding, blocking shots, things like that. So wearing the socks helps me to slide around.
See, I am the complete opposite. That's why I was a pitcher, because I was too slow to do anything besides that with the space.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, since this one's actually tight, strike me out.
Strike you out?
Well, yeah, you're still learning the throwing thing. I assume that was just a miscue on your part.
No, I don't think that was a miscue. I think that I think maybe I just put a bit too much power and he jumped up from second.
Okay.
I insist.
Sure. Okay.
Hold on. This time.
I don't think we're online sports gaming, right? This is too chivalrous. You're trash.
It's okay.
Quit selling.
I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 now.
Oh, okay. You think you're sweet with it? Then bring it then.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, I'm running. It's on now. No, I'm not going back. I'm actually going. We're just having fun here.
I was ready to go.
You actually were. You would have had me beat if I was.
I wasn't going to throw it. I was actually going to accept you making it to third, but then I saw 50 speed, and I said, "Let's try."
And it would have worked as long as you were in that green. You had me dead to rights.
Oh, come on!
That's a squeaker. I don't know if you have my swing feedback there. That was a garbage hit. I was not on that.
Meanwhile, my last perfect went right to your shortstop.
I mean, that is baseball. That's why, BABIP is a stat, and sometimes players have bad years, even though all the underlying metrics are great. But damn, it's tough when you see that actually happen. In a video game, it's nice to be rewarded for good inputs, and nice to not have your opponent be rewarded for their bad ones. And I just was rewarded for a garbage input. I'll be honest with you. Pure RNG luck there. Oh, you struck me out quick counts. I forgot. I thought I had like 2 more pitches.
That got me a couple times.
Ruiz is probably my favorite swing on this team, though. So he's the guy I probably want up.
What do you think about his extension?
Risky, but that's kind of how rookie extensions happen in the MLB.
You're kidding.
No. Wow, that's a tough way to break the tie.
It's okay.
That would have ended the inning.
I'll make it back.
Ooh. Okay.
That's too bad.
You're just gonna sleep on Dominic Smith here, I see.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, that would have sounded great if I had connected.
Joe, will ChatGPT become an assistant GM one of these days? I think that may be an interesting video. That would be.
Oh, that would be, yeah.
I tried to use. I think you need to sign up for something. At one point I was just interested in the hype, and I looked up ChatGPT, and I couldn't just ask it a question. I had to go through some steps, and I gave up. So.
Oh my gosh!
Finally, perfect, and it's just a single.
111 off the bat.
Wow, Giancarlo.
That is crazy hard. So we probably won't do the drafting data, but partly because I did bring it up earlier. If you had to pick, what would you say is the worst contract right now in the NHL?
Whew.
I know
think
there's a lot to choose from. There's like 6 or 7 which I could see in the number 1 slot.
I think at one point it probably would have been the Jeff Skinner contract, but I think it's gotten to a point where, although it's too much, it's kind of like the Sabres are making do with it.
Right? Same with Okposo. Okposo's is almost done, but it's like, it was awful, but it's kind of okay now.
Yeah, like that's like I was thinking when I started to think about this question. Like you have a contract, let's say for example Seth Jones. Seth Jones, is he a good player? Yes, for sure. Is he worth that money and that term on that specific team? That's where it becomes like a different type question. Oh,
Right? Yeah. Okay.
So-
well, would you rather pay Seth Jones like $1 million or $2 million more than Darnell Nurse makes?
That's the thing. It depends on my organizational standpoint as well. If it's just coming down to the facts of it's this player for this money, I wouldn't say Seth Jones is that guy. As much as I love him, I think Rasmus Ristolainen is up there, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't even think of Risto. That's really good. Yeah.
I think he's good because he does deliver the blocks and the hits and stuff like that. But if you look at the underlying analytics, like just what kind of defense is he providing, it's not really any happening.
Oh, Ristolainen is the guy that I feel like I was the most wrong on in the last 5 years. Like he more than passed the eye test for me. I think I just like big guys that hit and in theory would play defense. And I'm just like, no, he'll be good. He'll be good. And it just didn't happen for him, at least yet. But
That's it.
I think we know who he is, and that's a good call, man. Jeez. It
Walter
upsets me
said
that he's not better.
Walter said he had to go. Great job per usual. It was great meeting you, Pat. Take care, Walter. Always an
Likewise,
absolute
Walter.
honor to have you in here. Walter was one of our regulars a while ago. He was gone for a little bit. Now the last few streams he's been back in here. He's back in the Discord server as well. He got a new account. His old account he couldn't access anymore. Walter is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer for the channel. Absolutely.
Woohoo.
1-2.
Yes,
Thanks for
pleasure,
being here
Walter.
tonight, buddy.
Thank you for the kind words, my friend.
Liam said, "Oh, here comes the phone again."
Oh,
Speaking
you
of the
tried
phone-
it again, you dirty dog.
Speaking of the phone again, Liam says, "Can you answer my Discord call?" Oh, I'll see what I can get to you, buddy. Add me as a friend. We'll figure something out after the stream. Ooh, good contact.
And
What was the result on that one? That sounded like a perfect.
I was just a little under and to the left. Let me see the timing. I might have been just a shade late.
Gotcha.
No, timing good.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just a little bit under it. Also hit it to the deep part of the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
And C.J. Abrams is not exactly a power hitter. You're more so looking to hit that one between the infield and outfield, or find a gap. That's the best case scenario for C.J. Abrams at bat usually.
Is Abrams still an elite, like an A? Is he B potential, A potential? I remember at one point he was higher.
I'd say he's a potential. He
Yeah.
was the key piece in the Juan Soto trade last year, so
Right.
and he didn't really do anything to dissuade me from thinking that. He wasn't, setting the world on fire last year or anything, but he's still very young. The tools are there, and the underlying metrics look good. It looks like he's going to be a professional hitter with
Okay.
plus defense, excellent speed.
Very good.
I'd be more worried about like Jorge Mateo in Baltimore. Has a lot of the same skill set, but a little bit older, and I don't love how he does not like drawing walks and doesn't have a lot of high exit velos off the bat. I realize I'm getting some very nerdy sabermetric stuff here, but it's important when looking at prospects in baseball. It's one of the reasons I'm very comfortable talking like baseball prospects, whereas hockey, I don't know anything about most of these guys beyond just like regurgitating information that I've heard from smarter people. Like, I know Connor Bedard's good. I don't really know why he's better than Michkov, for example. Oh, stop it,
No.
Abrams!
Get
That's
out!
why! That's why! C.J. Abrams, we're watching.
Get out of
the replay
here!
that.
Wow. That's the tough part about the quick counts. You gotta be swinging earlier. You can't take that first pitch always.
I kind of lucked out too because I got that throw in the yellow, but the first baseman dug it out. When it hits the yellow, it's sort of like a coin flip on if it's like a throw in the dirt, and your first baseman's fielding rating will often determine if they snag it or if the runner will be safe.
Oh, too early.
You nearly roped that down the line. Sheesh.
And Joe said he may have missed it, but what about Dowdy's contract? Dowdy, again, it's an expensive one, but I'm thinking about this through my fantasy hockey lens. That guy blocks shots. He gets enough offense to make it worth it. Is it more than he would be worth if he was signing a contract today? Yeah, I think so. But I don't know if I'd rope contracts like Dowdy into this conversation, because when he signed that contract, it was known that at the back half of it, he wasn't going to be as good as he was the day that he signed it. He got paid that dollar value because of what he was worth at the time of it being signed, right? The Expos take it with that miscue on the bases loaded.
Yeah, sheesh. That's an
But that was a good
unfortunate
game. That was
game.
definitely a better outing for me.
And for future note, I mean, maybe it'll be 2 more years before we play, but quick counts might be the move for a nice casual brisk game, because we really didn't need
quick
to be
counts,
throwing
but a full 9
70
innings
pitches.
would probably be a better.
Yes,
we could do
that
a couple
is the
games.
healthy medium, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I feel a little shortchanged that we didn't get enough baseball there, but the first game was getting long.
Yeah. I see that. Hits were 3-2 in this one. That one run in the third. I had my 2 errors in there, unfortunately. All right,
Well,
so I think we'll start
you know
wrapping
what?
it up there, Pat.
Yeah, for sure. Makes sense, especially because I don't think people want the visuals of just the show's main menu.
Well, speaking of the show, everybody, we will be live here tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern to continue our franchise mode series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll be going through the draft and most of the regular season. We're currently second in the division. I think we're just a couple of games back of the Brewers. No, the Cardinals, sorry. The Cardinals, who are atop the division at the moment. So that'll be a fun time. Pat, I thank you for not only your openness to play, or willingness to play, but your friendship over the years and being a part of the channel and making it a fun, entertaining time as my interviewer this evening.
Oh, I trust me, the pleasure was all mine. Thank you for, giving me this little chance to strut my stuff in front of a larger audience. Also, the privilege to just, interview you and try and do my little bit to help the channel get this Q&A out there. And again, it was just fun to shoot the breeze, play some baseball. It's an exciting time of year. And I'm looking forward to the conclusion of the San Jose series and everything you have coming down the pipe, including part 2 of Pittsburgh tomorrow.
Yes, much more to come. We're closing on 6,000 subscribers. Much more to say along the way as well. I was just getting into my stories as well. Now that I think back, I never fully finished my answer on the question. I got into the Club Penguin. I never got more than that, so we'll save that for the next interview. I would like to do it again, at least on MLB The Show 23 before it's MLB The Show 25. So we'll try to get something going in there. Joe says, woo, look forward to the stream data. Can't get enough of your live streams. Awesome meeting you, Pat. Both of you have a splendid night. And now I'm waiting too long that the menu and game is going to start up here. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time to watch this evening. It was a blast. If you want to see more of Pat, whether it be here on the channel, let me know, or just his own stuff, I will link his Twitch in the description of this one after we're done streaming here this evening. So give him a check, give him a watch, as he does lots of Madden, MLB, and miscellaneous things along the way as well. And once again, Pat, I thank you for taking the time. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I saw a pun opportunity and I couldn't let it pass. You said give me a check, and please pay me money.
Yes, why not?
I need it for Wendy's burgers.
The good old Wendy's burgers. Liam, I'll see you on the server. I'll get to you just as soon as we close it up here. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for taking the time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night for the Pirates, later on for the Sharks, later on, not too later, for another game, another rematch against Pat once I try and get a little bit better at this game. It was my first full 9-inning game in a couple of years, so still getting my feet wet, but thank you for Pat's patience as well, as he's not quite being as challenged as he usually would be.
Well, something, it might not be fair to mention this on Stream Data, but we could also try to do co-op next time
Yes.
if you want to play on the same team. Also, with the PS4's share function, it opens up the door if you want to do something like a WWE 2K co-op GM mode, or we could dip our toes in various other
The
types
possibilities
of
are
GM
endless,
modes.
my friend.
Exactly. So
The
it doesn't
universe
just
is
have
ours
to be baseball.
the Alpha Quadrant is ours to be conquered.
And anytime you need some backup, you have it here with the Klingon Empire. Go
Hey,
pop!
thank you very much. The Kitamura chords are alive and well.
Yes! 5-star reference.
We're gonna end it there. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being
Good night.
here.